Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Mind of James podcast. I am your host, James Allville. It's been a week. I record these episodes weekly. Fridays is when I record them. And right now it is 8:41 a.m. Like I said, I work third shift, so it is my Friday. Currently sipping on a Yuengling traditional lager. Guys, I'm telling you, best beer in America. I will stand by this beer till I die. And I am smoking on a Raz. The flavor is cherry lemon. Very, very good. Very good. And it tastes exactly like it sounds. So this week's episode was kind of a pop-up topic. It was just one of those random topics that I had to talk about because I listen to a lot of podcasts and I don't hear a lot of people talking about temporary time, or the time you spend in a temporary season. And it is one of those topics that needs to be talked about because we all hear a little variation of it. It's like a lot of people call it seasons. A lot of people call it chapters. But, for me, it's temporary time. That is it. It is the time that I am spending in a temporary part of my life. This week, it hit me. It hit me hard. I remember I was laying on my bed, and I was like, I can't believe that this is going to be it. That this is going to be that. This is it. This is all I have to look forward to for the rest of my life. And then it hit me again. It's not. This is not the end of the road for me. For damn sure, this is not the end of the road for me. And no, I refuse. I told myself when I got back from Colorado, this is only temporary. What I see here is only temporary, and I refuse to accept that this is going to be it for me. I refuse. I flat out refuse. And I kind of have this theme with me right now. And I say to myself whenever I get into the point of, I'm like, man, this is it for me. I say this to myself. Temporary has no time limit. I'll say it again for the people in the back. Temporary has no time limit. Meaning that it may take you a year. It may take you 2 years. It may take you 6 years. But in that period is temporary and the time has no limit. I'll say it one more time because it is very important to me. It is how I keep my mind focused on what I want. Temporary has no time limit. And man, I was laying in bed, and I felt just this weight of just pure depression, pure sadness, because I was sitting here going, this is it. This is all that is it for me. And nope. And I got to tell you, that feeling, woo, it'll bring you to your ever-loving knees. God, it'll bring it to your knees. It really will. And it's one of those things where I'm just like, it hit me good. Wasn't, I couldn't tell you the feeling. And maybe some of the audience members out there have heard this, have felt this, that it was like you just want to put a gun in your mouth. Honestly. Like that, like if this is it, I'm done, bro. I'm out. I'm done. We're not doing this shit anymore. We're not doing it. You know? And then like 3 minutes later, I was like, get out of bed. There's a, you know, you got that little voice in your head. Some people call it a conscience. Some people call it, just your inner dialogue. I call it God. When my mind is running 1,000 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden this sentence, these words just come out of nowhere. And you listen to those words, and you listen to that voice, and you listen to that sentence. That is God for me. That is God speaking to me. And today and yesterday, my mind was running 1,000%. I was trying, you know, kind of spiraling a little bit, and I heard these words. Temporary has no time limit. It's like, okay, God, all right, keep that in mind. That is my credo, as they say. For this there you go. For this part of my life. Temporary has no time limit. And as soon as I heard that, I calmed down. I was able to refocus myself, get reoriented. I journaled. I did some of the shadow work journal. But that helped me a lot. Temporary has no time limit. You know, in the past few weeks, it was kind of boiling. It's like, man, you know, I kind of got that feeling like, man, I could, you know, this ain't too bad. I could live with this. And then it kept getting worse and getting worse and getting worse and getting worse and getting worse. And then it came to a head. And then I heard God's voice. Temporary has no time limit. Keep doing your thing, dude. Keep doing your thing. Get up. Wash your balls. Put on some deodorant. Go to work. Do the best you can. And come home. Do work around the house. Do some work on the computer. You know, write some jokes. I'm not doing comedy right now, but I am still writing down jokes and ideas. You know what I mean? I haven't given up on comedy. I'm just getting to the point where it's like, once I go full head, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back. And I keep getting little signs like, this shit ain't for you. This 9-to-5 shit ain't for you, dog. This 9-to-5 shit ain't for you. But you know what? I will put it out in the universe that I do want to see this particular oil and gas company on my resume. So if this particular oil and gas company is listening, you know, hire your boy. Be the best decision you ever made. But, you know, this 9-to-5 shit, done. Over. I'm so over it. You know, if you ain't going to work on your dreams, you're going to make somebody else's dreams rich. I might as well make mine. Make mine rich. You know what I mean? Like man. And ever since I moved to Colorado to be like, you know, let's just try something new. And then I got a taste of the other side. And I was like, oh, this is too good. Some unfortunate circumstances happened. I had to move home. But I got a taste of that other side. I got a taste of it. And it's sitting in the back of my mouth like all the beer in the world I drink, all the food I eat just don't taste the same. I'm like, you know what's happening. You know what's up then. That's my body telling me temporary has no time limit. That's what it's telling me. Like, okay. So while I'm here, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to play the game. All smiles. And that's it. That is it. And while I'm doing that, we're building some stuff up. We're building this podcast up. Comedy's been on the mind. And like I said, I'm still writing. But I'm working a lot. And I clock in at 9. And I could stay late. But I'm good. Enough is enough. I would rather work it early and late anyway. Because I can't do it. Can't do it. I've had enough. And it almost sounds like me bitching out. Like, oh, I can't do it. I can. I sure as hell can. But I got to put some pieces in a row. I got to put some ducks in a row. Like, hey, get back in line. Hey. But you know what? You know how the game is. You want to get something going? You got to play a little bit of chess here. Now in the game of life, we're not playing checkers. We're playing chess. You know what? Let me say it again. I like that. In the game of life, we're not playing checkers. We're playing chess. You know what I mean? And I've lost a few rounds of chess. And this round of chess, I'm not losing. I'm not losing. It ain't happening. It ain't happening, folks. It is not happening. I'm not losing again. It's only W's in this corner. So if you want to get in this corner, let's do it. So while I'm playing chess, we got to figure out what the best strategy is. Like I said, I moved out to Colorado. I moved back home. And it was a big loss for me. It was a really big loss for me, guys. I got to tell you that right now. I got to tell you too. I got to tell you that it felt like I had my whole life ripped away. I lost everything. I'm rebuilding back. And I'm rebuilding back better. Better. Not worse, better. And I got a taste of something that I really want. Now I'm really going to have it. We'll talk about more. Well, in later episodes, we'll talk about what happened in Colorado. I got no problem with talking about that. But this episode is basically focused around the theme of temporary has no time limit. And when you come back, and when you're coming back from a major loss, it feels like everything's falling apart. It really does. For me, it feels like everything is falling apart. And it sucks. It absolutely sucks. And you just wanna crawl in bed and stay there for the rest of your damn life. But you gotta get up, you gotta make it happen, and you keep moving. You keep on moving. And I was writing notes for this episode because it was kind of temporary. And one of my bullet points here came to me. And here's the bullet point. Time is the greatest thing we can pay for what we want. I'll say it again. Time is the greatest thing we can pay for what we want. There is no amount of money. There is no amount of women. There is no amount of beer. There is no amount of food on this earth that can give you back a second of time. Not at all. Not at all. And, it can't give you a second of time back. Not at all. So you do what you can with the time that you have. Every second counts. And if you have to take that time to lay in that bed and realize that what's going on around you is only temporary to where you want to go, sometimes you gotta. Don't feel bad for having those moments, because those moments are the moments that catapult you into a new mindset. And we're back. Had to crack me a new beer. But it is in those moments when you are laying in your bed or sitting on your couch thinking that it's all over, that this is it, that this is where your life is going to be. It is in those moments that the Almighty's going to give you a plan. He's going to give you some wisdom. He's going to make sure you get what you need, the strength you need, the power you need, and the wisdom you need to accomplish what you need to do. That's exactly what's going to happen. And speaking of that, man, I was listening to an episode of The Honeydew with Ryan Sickler and Jason Ellis. This guy, I found him through The Honeydew, and I started listening to him. And right now, man, he seems like he's in a position to where it's like he used to be a pro skateboarder, pro fighter. He was a millionaire, and now it's reduced down to nothing, and he's doing comedy. And it just seems like to me, it's just like the universe is testing him to see if he really wants it. And it's like, man, dude, Jason, if you ever get to listen to this podcast, if we ever cross paths, if we ever even get to send DMs on Instagram, dude, I applaud you. I am a huge fan of yours. God love you, Jason. God bless you. God bless you, dude. God bless you. God bless you, man. Like, it's just, I don't even know you. I've never even seen you in real life, but it's just a pleasure here. It's just a pleasure getting to meet someone that is going through the thicket, and I can relate to that. But getting back to it, I just had to get off that little sidetrack. But those moments of desperation, that feeling of desperation, is going to put you right where you need to go. And temporary has no time limit has been marked as my credo, as I've said before. It's been marked. So whenever I get down and whenever I feel like that I'm just stuck here, it's temporary, has no time limit. What I've learned on how time works is that when I was younger, let's just say when I was in my 20s, I didn't really understand time as much as I do now. There's 24 hours in a day. There's 60 minutes in an hour. There's 60 seconds in a minute. Yada, yada, yada. But I never really understood what each second meant. I knew they passed. I knew I had to wait for an hour to get into the bank or into a store or something like that, but I never really understood what it meant, what time means. Time is a currency. Time is not a minute or a second, it's a currency. It's the biggest currency of your life. That's what it is. Time is a currency. How are we going to pay it? It's like that movie with Justin Timberlake. I can't remember the damn title, but they all paid with things with time. And subconsciously, that's what we're all doing. We're all paying things with time. We're not paying it with money. We're paying it with time. Let me see if I can Google this real quick. In time. It was 2011. Now I understand that every time I even go to work and clock in, I'm spending my time there. My time. My currency. Not anybody else's. I'm not spending Joe Schmo's currency. I'm not spending this guy's currency or that guy's currency. I'm spending my currency of my time. So now it's like a little more appreciation of when I do things. I put more awareness and I put more conscience into it and I put more passion into it. Like writing down jokes and doing this podcast. I'm putting my time into things. It's like with dating too. I'm putting my time into these things. I'm putting my time into a good morning text or a good evening text or a, what's your favorite color? That's my time, man. Don't waste my time. Because I don't want to waste yours. So if I'm sitting here and I think the conversation's going a little dull, like, you're wasting my time. You're wasting my ever-loving, God-given time. I could wake up. I might not even wake up tomorrow when I go to bed. I might not even wake up. I might not even wake up. And we all have to keep that in the back of our minds, ladies and gentlemen. We have to keep in the back of our minds that we might not wake up when we go to bed. You know how hard that hit me this week? How hard I had to deal with we might not wake up? So spend your time wisely. Spend your time in peace. Spend your time. I will turn my Bluetooth speaker on at work and I will play Jimmy Buffett. I will play Zach Brown. I will play Stevie Ray Vaughan. And you know what? Everybody else can kiss my ass. Because if I have to be there, if that's a thing I'm required to do to get where I need to go, then you know what? It's my time. And I'm going to do it my way. I will complete my work. I will do the best I can at my work. But I'm going to be blaring some Jimmy Buffett. I'm going to be blaring some Zach Brown. And then we might switch it over to Metallica. And then we might switch it over to some T-Pain, some Tech Nine. And then I got a pop list, shouts out to Ariana Grande and BB Rexa, aka my future ex-wife. My future ex-wife. And it's time. It's 3 to 4 minutes of a song of my time. I'm going to spend it the best, happiest way that I can. And if anybody gets in the way, they going to feel it. They going to feel it. And I'm not a violent guy. By any means. By any means. I'm not a violent guy. I don't believe in violence. I don't do it that way. I don't believe in violence. That's, only in life or death situations. I'll say that. And ever since my dog Maya passed away on July 28th, it's just me I got to worry about. That's it. Just me. But anyway, let's get on to... But it's my time, man. It's my time. It's my time. And I'm going to spend it the best way I can. So if I got to be at work for 10 hours, I'm listening to some Jimmy Buffett. And then I'll throw a podcast on. I'll throw a couple on. Whatever gets me through the day. It don't matter to you. Stay in your own lane. This is mine. You know what I'm saying? So it begs the question, how am I going to spend my time from this point on? Well, I'm going to spend my time doing the things that are going to help me grow. And you should be spending the time to do things that help you grow. You want to be a chef? Well, damn it, you better start cooking. You want to paint minis? Better go buy some paint and some miniature figures. You want to be an OnlyFans model? You better look good. I can't say that. Everybody, there's a lid for every pot, But get yourself. You better understand how the internet works. Figure out how Instagram and TikTok and all that works. You better figure it out. I don't have it figured out. I would love for someone to teach me how posting this day, this time, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And I see a lot of pictures like these are the days and the times the best to post. Well, that's great. I want to hear it come from someone. I want to hear it from someone who's successfully done it. You know what I mean? Like, look at the Hawk Tour girl, Haley Welch. That chick has taken the internet and the world by storm, and she is learning all this stuff. And it's something I can learn too. And she spent it. Get your bag, Haley. Get your bag. And I'm going to say this right now. Concrete Jungle Wet Dreams Tomato. If y'all know what I'm talking about, good on you then. So, give you a little update on what's going on else in my life. I got a friend in Australia. When I lived in Denver, I had a podcast called Stoned Out, and we met through podcasting. And we just became good friends. We send each other reels and talk to each other and whatnot. So I sent him a care package. I sent him a nice care package with some nice Cincinnati delicacies. So if you're listening to this, buddy, I hope you enjoy it. But I will be spending my time being happy in my head. Because I'm the only one that can make me happy. Now, not a woman on this planet. Not a job on this planet. Well, let's take that back. Not a career. there's a career that can make me happy, fulfilled, I should say, fulfilled. I mean, beer is making me pretty happy right now. I do like beer. Good old Yuengling traditional. And I got some Yuengling Oktoberfest in the fridge. And I've got some Sam Adams Oktoberfest in the fridge. But it's not October yet, so we gotta save it. But you're saying, James, you can drink that now and get more later. True, but I got me a nice case of Yuengling of traditional lager in the fridge. So I'm going to enjoy that. And God bless Yuengling. I hope they sponsor this podcast, and I'm going to say it every podcast. I hope they sponsor it. I hope they hear this, and I would love for them to sponsor it. Is there anything else I want to talk about? Good question. Let's just say, give God all the glory when you get what you want, when you get what you worked for, when you get what you hoped and prayed for. Listen to some good music, smile a lot, have fun, do your thing, don't take shit from anybody, and don't start no shit. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. So if someone tries you, put them in their place. But folks, as I take another drink of beer here, I had to finish this can off. But as we come to the conclusion of this installment of the Mind of James podcast, I do want to thank you all for listening. I do want to thank you all for being there. I love all of you. Make sure that you wash your nuts when you get up. Tell the day that ain't gonna bring me down. And I love all of you. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Stoned Out. God, I'm going back now. Hang on a minute. We're going back to Denver, Colorado. But I want to thank you for joining me for another episode of the Mind of James podcast. I will see you all on the next one.